A Small Flower Grows in Texas on Film Threat Reviews. I'm Alan Ning. I'm with Zorianna Kit, and today we review Yellow Rose. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below about what you thought about the film. And Yellow Rose is the story of a Filipina teen from a small Texas town who fights to pursue her dream as a country music performer while having to decide between staying with her family or leaving the only home she's known. Yellow Rose is directed by Diane Paragas. So this movie actually combines two hot topic issues. Well, one hot topic issue, that is of immigration, and the other is of country music. Zorianna, what did you think of Yellow Rose?
Well, I wouldn't qualify country music as a hot topic these days, although I am very much a fan of country music. So that's great. This film really is a crowd pleaser. It really is. Our lead actress may not have a lot of film or TV credits, but she is a veteran of Broadway. So you know that she has a great voice and that she can belt it out. And that's the best part of the film, is the music aspect. What did you think of it?
I liked it. I mean, in terms of a heartwarming story of a girl finding herself in country music and having something to say, it was fine. I do think that, with the immigration element to it, the story is somewhat formulaic and, definitely has a message, a political message behind it. And I think what I liked is that message is there. It's not like a bat to the head, it's there, and it's to bring just awareness to the issue.
Yeah, I like the fact that our immigrant was Filipino, because they could have gone for many other ethnic minorities. Also, the thing that I had a little bit of an issue with is just the fact that the people who do come to her rescue are white people. And even though maybe that is the reality, I don't often like the idea of a white person coming in.
The white saviors.
Yeah, that I just sort of have a problem with. But
yeah. I think maybe that has to do with the idea of, because it takes place in Texas, that they're kind of playing against the stereotypes of the Texans and actually showing them as compassionate people, which, I mean, let's just face it, people are compassionate. If there's a negative for me with this movie, it just hits maybe a little too hard, leans into too many stereotypes. And, but I think what also saves the movie is also the music itself as well.
Yes, that is the reason to see this movie, is to see a fresh new talent on the screen and to enjoy the songs. Because I really, like, if you're going to play songs in a film, they better be songs that at least you have, that they linger with you afterwards, after the movie is done. And in the same way that, not on such a big scale, like A Star is Born definitely had that in spades. And while this is not A Star is Born in any capacity, it does have those crowd pleasing, toe tapping films. Mm-hmm. But of course, there are some stereotypes, like the main country singer drinks too much, and that's like a trope we've seen before over and over again. So there's a lot of, like you said, formulaic aspects to this.
I think, if anything, it's a small indie film. You kind of forgive that a little bit in terms of being a little bit formulaic. Yeah. Because the as a film itself, it's beautifully shot. Mm-hmm. There's a lot there. The country music, the concert scenes, just getting a good grasp of Texas itself, and great performances. You mentioned Eva Noblezada. Leah Solonga can do no wrong either. And even Dale Watson gives a good performance as a country singer.
Yeah, exactly. I just, for me, like, I sort of her choices, I found a little bit unrealistic. Like, she's given a place to stay on his property in a gorgeous Airstream, but when he doesn't want to adopt her, like she asked him to, she just packs up her stuff and goes, and just like leaves and becomes a hotel maid. And I don't think these are spoilers per se, but it's sort of like, if your dream is to have a country career, and you're offered an amazing place and you're reporting on the property, just because somebody doesn't want to sign on the dotted line and make a big move for them doesn't mean you have to just throw a fit and leave. Like, still stay there. You're not being kicked out. So it's just little things like that that sort of gave me pause in terms of, you know, really being deeply enmeshed in the story, because I thought those were a little bit unrealistic. But like you said, I'm there for the songs. I'm there for the acting.
Yeah. You know, I saw Yellow Rose a year and a half ago at the LA Asian Pacific Film Festival. So the movie's a little bit old, 2 years, if not. And it, you know, in that time, I remember DACA was a big thing. And I think this film hits on the DACA issue of undocumented immigrants, their children living and having grown up in America, more or less feeling like Americans. Yeah. And that this movie kind of, I mean, that this is the actual point of the movie is, you know, here's a girl who knows no other home than America. She's being threatened to go back home with her mother to the Philippines. Yeah. And so, you know, that's kind of the political issue that happens here.
Yeah. So, I also didn't like the issue that her one and only aunt didn't really, she seemed to have had no relationship with her growing up at all, even though she didn't live that far away. And also the family ties that are supposed to bind didn't bind here. And her own blood family, whatever was left there, wasn't willing to fight for her. And that I don't know how much I thought that.
Yeah, you know, I chalk that up to story elements. I mean, we don't know how people are like that, but people are like that, and it plays out here. All right, so you like the country music. You were somewhat into the story, but you weren't that enthusiastic about it. I'm gonna say you probably gave it maybe a 6.5.
No, I actually I'm upping it to 7.5. I really do think that the positives outweigh the slight negatives, and I you know, I'm still thinking of the film and how much I enjoyed it. So it did linger with me, and I you know, I went through the credits to listen to the songs and to take note of them, and I looked up our lead to learn more about her. I really was intrigued about everyone that was in it. So it's definitely a movie I would recommend that people watch. I think you probably liked it on par as much as I did, because you're very forgiving of the issues that I brought up. So I'd say you might be giving it an 8 as well.
Yeah, I gave it a 7.5 as well. Good story, good music, you know, and I think as a film, and especially for a new filmmaker, it looks really good, and it's really well done. It's a
great first outing for this filmmaker for sure.
Yeah, and then ironically, I saw this movie 3 months after I saw Wild Rose. It's another country music movie with amazing music in that as well. All right, so with that, be sure to go to filmthreat.com for news and reviews of other independent films. Like, subscribe, and comment on the Film Threat YouTube channel. And with that, let's get out of here.